And good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Big Chonis, broadcasting from the East Coast of the United States of America. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday as we start a new day and check out this amazing price action we have in Bitcoin over the past several days here. This is quite interesting, thinking about how we were so bearish in our market not too long ago. There was direness, felt like everything was about to fall off a cliff, and then you fast forward just a couple days later, we have our price action back over 4,000. Remember, guys, you can follow me on Twitter. I am Epic Chonis. These are all my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. I'm a crypto trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. Please do your own research. Once again, I am very humbled for breaking 30,000 followers. Thank you very much. And remember, I'm also a feature contributor to the Bitcoin Live platform, a great place, a great resource with great traders. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about some of the tweets I've been putting out the past couple days. I've been referencing the Ichimoku cloud a lot and the EMA 12, EMA 26, and how the price has basically been interacting with them. So let's go back to our chart here and talk about these areas and levels. But you guys know I'm a Bollinger Bands fan, and I just want to really start with that. Last night's quick video update I mentioned because we had found support on our lower BB here, because we have found support on our middle BB here. When we do that, we like to target a full extension to our upper Bollinger Band because we have basically confirmed our two areas of support here. So up we went, and let's face it, like that's close enough, because what happened with this little push, we actually gently pushed this BB ever so slightly higher. So I feel this is pretty much achieved in terms of our edge to edge touch of our BBs here. Maybe a little tap higher, but listen, we got up to what, 41, 118? A very impressive move over these days here. And what we're talking about is the ability to find support on key areas, back test those supports, continuation, break through initial areas, pull back because these are areas that haven't been touched in a very long time. And then the bullish extension can continue. Now we're only, we still have almost 11 more hours left in this day, and we're clearly going to put in probably a very much higher, one of our highest volume profiles as this day progresses here. Now, talk about yesterday's candle for just a moment here. This candle did not look very good. Obviously, it was a whether you want to call it a shooting star or gravestone doji. It wasn't really a doji because we had a little bit of a body here. It wasn't really a gravestone because we had a little bit of a bottom wick. And as far as the shooting star goes, I guess that's more closer to what it looked like. However, as I mentioned, we only had about a 6% pullback in that wick there. And comparatively speaking, with the volume being as high it was, even though most of this was pullback volume there, seeing this continuation only because we were able to close with a higher high from the day before. So even with that pullback, we were able to establish still a higher high, and then the continuation fall. So upper Bollinger Band achieved. Let's put some artwork on this here. Now let's pull this back to there. There we go. Now yesterday's candle, we wicked out right at the 236 Fibonacci. Now I have drawn this from our most recent swing high way up here, November 7th, around $6,500, to our most recent swing low right down here at 31.35. And because of that extension to 23.6, coinciding with that area of initial break over EMA 12, that's where we had that resistance there. We were able to find a move and close above, okay? And that was a Babel. And because of that break of the 2326, okay, we can now honestly look at our next line of resistance and our next fib range, which is the 382, right around 4444. Interestingly enough, that also coincides with this candle here, which was our top off candle when we had originally a couple weeks ago done this, what we thought, or what could have been perceived as a bottoming moment at that time, and then a bullish continuation. But we found these wicks here being bought up We shot up, we hit our EMA 12, and there she wrote. And that area, okay, what was our daily close there? A high, 44.14. So right around 4,400 and then a little bit more, okay? That is really where the battle of this move, okay, can be drawn. And potentially, okay, we are also looking at, I'm going to note our area here, 382. Let's just write that there. 0.2 FIP percent. Because what I want to do, and let's see here, let's pull that back a little bit. And let's get rid of that guy there. Okay. So what I want to talk about is this larger pattern potentially beginning to form of this inverse head and shoulders, being the neckline at the 4,400 area. So something like this, where this is all of our neck right here. Okay, so really our low here is our headline, and we can go as high as, I'll bring that down to there, do that there, and then let me just fix this guy right here. Boom. Okay, so this is this pattern that could be playing out, and obviously my right shoulder is going to be something around here. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at the chance that we can still run bullishly, okay, even potentially, which would be pretty interesting, breaking through our upper BB. If you notice, the last time we actually did break through our upper Bollinger Band, we had to go way back here. But intraday, this was the bear trap, the bull trap of all bull traps right here, huh? Bullish break out above BB when we were so tight, okay? And this was literally our nut top here. So all downhill from there. So because of that break of the upper BB, resistance here, remember our tether pump? Upper BB resistance, upper BB resistance. Riding the upper BB after that break there. 7,000. Yeah, this is the last time, August, where we're able to break through our upper Bollinger and close outside of it for 2 days. You know, pierce, and then we actually were able to extend that longer. So, but note how then we were wide in our Bollingers. Today, oops, get back there. Today, we're also pretty wide on our Bollingers, you know, because this spread out has not really tightened out that much here. So remember how tight we got here. This tightness allowed a much more definitive move. Because we're so wide here in our Bollingers, we can then use these to range in this area while they stay spread out, okay? Now, because of our width here, I feel we're going to be in this ranging, we have a chance at least to be in this ranging period for quite some time because of the supports we've now been able to achieve. Let's just call 3,500, 3,600, okay, a pretty stable support for the time being. We see how it was resistance. It was resistance. We broke through it. We held it, and then we broke through it. So 3,600 is now a very strong support, and that's a new trend change from the previous matter. Let's go to a TD count and get a sense of where we are on our TD count cycle on multiple time frames. So after we had our 9 on our daily here, it was not a perfected 9. We had our bleed out. Then we started another red cycle, okay? But we ended that on a red 4. And now we're on a green 4, and we're on a green 4 with some running room here because remember with the TD, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, we go 4 candles back. So this is a green 4 because it's higher than 1, 2, 3, this guy right here. And tomorrow's candle has to be higher than, you know, $3,500. So we have running room on our daily TD to probably have several more days at least above our at least, yeah, as long as we hold $3,600 over the next several days, we have a very good chance of probably doing a 9 count on our daily chart, which is significant because of the high time frame, but we see what our 9s have been like, at least on the down, We have this red 9, insane bleed out. Okay, after hitting 13s, great combo 13 breaks down more. And then ever since then, our last 9 bearishly, okay, was not really the bottom at that point there because we had another bleed out and then another continuation there. But on the upside, we have a 9 here with a 4 candle upward thrust correction at 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we actually had a 13 here as well. And that was the top. This 9 was the top. So the 9s on the top side have been a little bit more accurate in terms of the area where the tops have been. The 9s on the downside in terms of the daily have been a little bit less accurate, at least on the daily time frame. Let's quickly go through a couple more time frames here. Interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, so 12 hour. We're on an 8 and an interesting 8 here. Remember, we just started this 12-hour candle here. We have 10 more hours almost to go in this candle. And look, we're way outside the Bollinger. We spread these guys wide, and we are 1, 2. Oh, so we fell back in here. So we're 2 more back outside of our upper BB on our bullish momentum. Volume still not waning. Our volume is very nice still. It's very strong. It's the kind of volume you like to see in this kind of a bullish continuation. All right, who's in the chat room today? 111 of my closest friends. What's up, Ben Johnson? What's up, A. Ramsey? What's up, James Ashmore? What's up, Sarah? What's up, Crypto Arch? What's up, Wobble Me Jello? What's up, Gino B? What's up, Crypto Maximizer? What's up, Jay Stroud? What's up, Robin? Hello, Queen Satoshi. How are you? Good morning to you. What's up, B7 Oaks? What's up, Crypto Storm 48? What's up, Todd Schultz? And a Merry Christmas to you, my friend. What's up, Welsh? I'm from Wales to Swansea. Nice. Okay, so 12 hours. So let's go to our 6 hour here and see what our TD is looking. So we're on, oh, look at that. So we did a 9. We had a 1 to 4 candle correction, and now we're still ranging with another count here after our small price slip. So the 12, the 9 on the 6, okay, showed that we were getting close to at least a temporary top. The 12 shows us we're getting towards a closer, longer term topping. And then the daily, okay, is showing us that we still have a little bit more running room in this range. Remember, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 doesn't mean higher, higher, higher. It just has to be higher than the previous 4. So we can do that and still be in this high $3,800 area. So my point is we're probably seeing that stronger resistance now that we've hit 4K. Going that extra, I mean, we're talking under 10% to get to the tips here of the $4,400 region. Okay, is there enough little push to go there? The last TD I want to look at is the 4 hour, and still kind of mid cycle here. So keep an eye on the 6 hour, which showed a 9, the correction, and now potentially this would be our best case for a longer bullish extension. But if we price flip here, okay, 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we got to get that down to 36, no, lower, 36. Then that will show more of a stronger rejection. But our 12 hour, okay, tells us we might have another day or so just kind of hanging out in this area. Maybe one more little push up is definitely possible based on our 12 hour. So I want to get rid of my TD. I want to drink my tea. And I want to bring up my Ichimoku. Now, you guys probably noticed I've been tweeting some Ichimokus. And just to go over a couple things here before I get into my Ichi, I have a different inputs that I use for my Ichi on crypto, 20, 60, 120, 30. The defaults are not these. And what I've done with these, I basically, again, there's no wrong settings here when you use this, as long as you're consistent with them. You choose them, you stick to them, and you keep them clean on all time frames. That way there's consistency throughout your TA. So 20, 60, 120, 30. And I've been using my 4 hour chart as an interesting reference. So I want to talk, before I get to our current price action, I want to talk about the last time we bullishly broke through a red Kumo cloud before we had a Kumo twist. Red Kumo cloud, bullish, caused a Kumo twist, price flip, red to green. back to red, fall off a cliff. But the last time we broke through on the 4-hour, we did this. We broke through with a vengeance. Broke through with a vengeance. Big rejection candle, right? We came back in. This took a couple days here, right? One, maybe a day and a half, 5, 6, yeah. And then we broke through again, putting in a higher high, right? We're able to hold outside there for several candles. And then there she wrote. We fell back in, and that was the strong resistance. Confirmed by this shooting star here, right? Where we broke through but couldn't close above. So that's basically saying a scenario of a break, a pullback, a breakout again, and then a rollover. Fast forward, okay, to what we're looking at right now. Come on, where are we here? So bearish, and then all of a sudden, I guess I can do this. There we go. Oh my God. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now I want to hide my Bollingers and clean the chart up just a little bit here. Okay, so what happened here? We initially, and again, we're watching our 4-hour for weeks here. Look at that right there. Rejection. Rejection. Remember, we were in the cloud intra-candle. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Rejection. In the cloud, rejection, rejection, rejection. In the cloud again, rejection. Close in. And here was your signal. And I talked about this. First 4-hour candle closed inside the cloud. Okay. This next candle came back tested, and look at that. It held bottom cloud support. Unbelievable. And then off to the races she went. Okay. That's why I like using the cloud with my settings on the 4-hour. And what we're watching here on this 4-hour, okay, we only have an hour. So we are about halfway through our 4-hour candle here. Okay, we're definitely tweezering. Okay, but we can't confirm anything because this candle hasn't formed yet. We still got more time to go to see if we can get this a little higher here and make this look less of a tweezer top area here. But we saw what happened last time. We basically broke out, came back in. This didn't take as long, right? Broke out again, higher high. And then we can range here for several more candles. Let me get my drawing tool. There we go. We can range here for several more candles. And then what's going to happen, from last time we saw this happen, we fell back into the cloud, tried to back test it, got rejected, and then we kind of went lower. So that would be a scenario that mimics what happened the last time we broke bullishly through the 4-hour Kumo before the twist happened. Now, the twist, there we go, is this that hasn't happened yet, but we're getting pretty close. Okay, we're getting pretty close to a bullish Kumo twist price flip here, but we still got a little time to go. And keep an eye on that because, again, that would allow for more of a bullish support continuation to use it as support versus the resistance it's been all this time here. Let's go back to our daily chart and let's look at some other indicators. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. I did that. Okay. So we're talking about, and I mentioned this on last night's quick video, that we were looking at 50. Let me get back right there. Boom. This 50 area, okay, is historic resistance for Bitcoin. Remember, we were hitting it here, hitting it here, hitting it here, came back, broke it, tested its support, got as high as 59. I should mark that. And couldn't get higher. So there's our lower low still, but we were able to break above 50. And I've always talked about the daily break of 50. You can get areas like this. You can get bullish pops like this. You can get bullish pops like this. Okay, so this is, I want to do that. Oh, okay. This is what we were looking for. And now I want to see it hold. Okay, so if we pull back and back test and hold 50 and look for that advance to once again retest our area here, would be our last push bullish, potentially bringing us to that $4,500 area, as long as our 50 area holds. Remember, this is also intra-candle here. This can plop back before the end of the day if we have a stronger bearish pullback, if that comes to fruition. Interesting on the stochastic here. Been a while since our upper indicator has pancaked like it has here. Okay, can't go higher than 100 on our leading, can't go higher than 100 on our trailing, and we've already pancaked on our leading. And we went back to see when was the last time we did that. It was right here, July. It wasn't for very long. And our trailing indicator has gotten as high as 99, 97, 95, we're currently at 92. So we have more running room with our trailing indicator, okay? That's what our Stokes says. But we're getting to that extension of this overall move. And this is the ebbs and flows. This shows our ebbs and flows in a little more of a clearer way, up and down. Sometimes our down aren't straight shots, they're staircased. And sometimes our ups aren't straight shots, they're a little staircase and then the move. Our downs, okay? So we watch this to see, okay, the trend has been great, okay, but do we really have that much more running room before we have to find the stability? Unless we do some sort of a curve around where we're actually able to hold this area of support and do a double tap before coming back down. And we've done that in a couple areas here, here, and here. Okay, so even as a pullback would happen, everything's cool as long as we hold our 80 area and above. And we can see that area was held in these areas, more like the mid to high 80s, really. Okay, but this was basically a lower test here, 90. That's the scenario that can remain this bullishness as long as we basically hold in the black and above our purple line there. MACD ranging higher. I like our histograms here. This is the first time. Remember, I talked about I want to see something like this. For many days, we had nothing like that. But remember, this is trailing, but a trailing indicator, or sorry, a lagging. All right, but this was telling us the story that this wasn't the time yet. But this, and then this. We're holding with a high profile. It was beginning to ramp up. And that gave us that 4 days of ramp up there. Now, I shouldn't say that. I don't know how high we can go here. But all I do know is that we have our resistance from July up to here. So that would be something like that. Or maybe we only get as high as September, which is right here, which is basically where we are right now. Let me hide that. See? September high histogram. We broke it, okay? Which putting our July area, which is maybe another bar or two, maybe one more bar or two. And that would basically correlate with our past areas, most recent, of bearish rejection in that area of our MACD area there on the histogram. Now we can see here, our chalk and money flow has finally made a move. And I'm going to see, I'll get rid of that for now. So we basically see, and this is what, before this turnaround, we were not seeing this extension. We were still seeing it dwindling down, but look, it held the higher low. And, we are now hitting, and this is what's interesting now, we're now hitting this major area of, let's face it, this is resistance, because we found here resistance, we broke it, we tested its support and had a nice bull pop. We came back, support, broke it, and now we're hitting again as resistance. So what this tells us is that this area, okay, when initially tested, okay, is where the price tends to reject. And because of that, That's why we're seeing that at least initial rejection here in this area. Who's in the chat room? Quick shout out to what's going on here. Where did I stop? Where did I stop? Todd Welsh, here we go. Jan Boss, MWM48, Jonathan Limes, ONJ, King Zulu, Shakul, Cornholio, Crypto Kalu, Mao, Martins Wilhelm, Welsh Nepsi, Bursch Goulden, yeah. Ronaldo Darius. Okay, so let's answer some of your questions before we get into other charts here. I kind of want to see what people have to ask on here. So let me just zoom up real quickly here. James asks, hey, Chonis, do you think we will see a small retrace before going higher? Looks like we might have still room to go higher. So yeah, the $4,400 area is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But as I've stated, that basically would correlate to our neckline resistance. And again, this inverse head and shoulders is a much larger overall bullish pattern. Okay, a bullish pattern of correction. And let's just face it, if this was to play out, right? If this HNS was to play out with our neckline of 44 and our head of 31, okay, then frankly, we're looking for something like $5,600, bringing us back to this area right here when we had our bear break and found our very first initial support area before falling off a cliff. So that's our best case full playout of our inverse HNS. And this could take us into January to actually complete this. And how this would be invalidated is I don't think we've hit our neckline yet. I really feel we got to get just a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. We'll see. Let's see. What else? I can tell how important the video is by the number of exclamation points. Yeah. Sometimes the more you add, the more emphasis you get, huh? Let's see here. Yeah, thanks, man. Let's see here. This was shared in Vam. Oh yeah, am I in Vam's channel? What are those settings again? I think Chonis for failure from Elvis. Yeah, so the 2200 to 2400 still seem possible. Does that rule out the inverse head and shoulders? Well, yes, that would. But here's the thing: the overall question in this bullish move here, I think the overall question that everybody's really kind of talking about or asking themselves is, you know, did I miss the bottom? Did I buy the bottom? Have we bottomed? Is this the bottom? Is this the capitulation? Is this the reaction? Have we just gone through our capitulation? Have we basically achieved the bottoming that we're all calling for? Remember, there were a lot of calls for that $3,300 area, right? There were a lot of calls for that lower area of 3K to be tested, maybe just a breakthrough under, okay? But it did it. Like, we broke down a 50% almost pullback from our most recent high. We're correcting up from that. Let me go to my, got so much stuff going on here. Actually, let me go to my XBT so I can just draw on this some more. XBT USD, here we go. We have had, let's just clarify where we've come here to keep things into perspective. So tether pump, bottom, 54% pullback, bottom up, 32% rise. Okay, so down 54, up 32, which means nope, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. So this reaction from a 50% pullback to a 30% rise is great, but I said before, we won't know that the bottom is in, right? We're just not going to know that the bottom is in for a long time after the bottom is in, because then we would have to have put in higher highs, broken out, confirm that no one's that the whole trend of the market, the feeling, the sentiment has completely changed. And for that to happen, that's going to take a lot of time after our bottoming area. So do I feel the bottom is in? I don't. Do I feel we have areas historically that we haven't retested as supports yet? I do. Do I feel this volume here is notable? It totally is. In terms of the capitulation candles here, okay? Some is high, but we've seen this before in the overall moves here. We've seen counter trends occur with vicious ramp ups followed by lower lows. So when does a lower low flip into a higher low? And even at 4,400, if we're able to achieve that, okay, even at 4,600, okay, even at 5K, okay, we really can't say that we've broken any major bear market trend, okay, until we get above where the whole break started, and that's still above 6K. Anything under 6K, okay, is still in this bear market, even with this correction of a 50% pull down trending higher here, because the overall lower lows, okay, is still going to play out. Now, I want to get rid of these guys, and I want to talk about lines, diagonals. I don't talk a lot about diagonals, but I sure do use them in my TA and my analysis of where I'm watching the trend and the chart here. And then after diagonals, we'll do our EMAs. I'm just going to clean everything up here, just get our price action here. And let's start with some basic diagonals. So I'm in log scale, okay? And I'm in log scale for purposely. So let's start here. So we have, okay, resistance, 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 resistance. Okay, so can we all agree that this line here, I don't like blue, I want, there we go, okay? Can we all agree that this white line of resistance, okay, on log scale is the real deal Holyfield, right? When major areas of resistance continue to be resistance, they will be resistance, which means a back test or another retest of this line is inevitable, right? It's inevitable at some point. But is it in this area, or are we talking later on down the line here? Because remember, this line is sloping lower. So here's where the battle becomes a real battle, is we get back up here, and at some point we retest our major, our confirmed, our longer term resistance line. We have to break through that, right? We have to break through that. We have to back test it, hold that back test, and then and only then we can accelerate higher. That's our best case bull scenario there, with a retest of our major area of resistance this whole way. Okay, now our short-term resistance line here, there. Cool. So support, resistance, resistance, bull breakout. Okay, but this line, this vector angle, is also still in play for the rollover, where we retest the lower end of our resistance line, now turn support. Okay, so we have two scenarios where this line becomes the dominant player, and our other scenario is some sort of a drift up and a retest of our overall major resistance line. Now, a rejection there, and we roll back over for sure. So only with a break and hold of this line can we then begin to talk about a real change in the market and the potential that our bear market is over. But I don't think we're going to get here that quickly. I mean, again, this could take several weeks to play out to get up here. And we're going to keep referencing our volume profile, which has been very good. Okay. Oh, darn it. Which has been very good the past few days here. Our high volume capitulation, bull volume, real bull volume coming in here. I'd like to see that. I haven't seen this in a while. And we have examples where we have 5-6 days right here, July, a very nice bullish continuation, followed by our pause, and that last push, right? That last little push. Where are we in this? Are we on just the first stage where we have our little pause and then that last push higher, pushing us higher? How strong is our resistance now at 4K? And this is another thing you have to ask yourself. If 4K, okay, couldn't hold initially, okay, if 4K was unable to hold in this area and then it broke, okay, if you didn't like Bitcoin at 3K, if you didn't like it at 3,500, are you really going to buy it and assume it's going to hold support if it is able to break the $4,000 area? Is that even a possibility? Is the market going to feel that $4,000 Bitcoin or higher is a good value because of just how recently we were in the 3,000s? What else we got here? Let's see here. BCH. Yeah, okay, so we'll do some alts in just a moment here. I'm only going to do more of the higher value one there. Our EW count is kind of interesting because there were a couple ways we were watching. Look at that volume there. That's nice to see. Let me do that. Okay, so let's do a little EW here. And pull up. Okay, so was this initially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, we had our 4 above our 1. Okay, we had our 3 was not the shortest, and we had an extension of 1 to 3 of 3, 6, 8, 1, and a 3 to 5 of 1, 2, 3, 6. So all that was a valid 5, and then we have this extra leg higher. So in essence, now are we looking at this being some sort of an extended 3, 4, and now this is 5? And does this count make a lot more sense now? Putting our 5 extension of 3 right at the 618 because our 3 was much higher than that. Oh, because our 1 wasn't very young. Yeah, see, here's what I didn't like about, kind of this count here was that I didn't like this 1 wave here because it didn't feel impulsive. This is impulsive, this one here. So let me do something different here. I almost feel like this was our impulsive wave here. But this can't be 3 because it's shorter than 1 there, right? Unless this is the 3, this is the 4, and then we actually have 1 more up there. Does that make more sense? What would be our extensions on that? That means our 3 is a 1786, which is fine. I like that. And then our 5, again, we have to hold. We can go low in our 4 here, but let's just say we hold somewhere here corresponding to these candles here, right? Then 4,400 would keep us just under a 1-to-1 extension of 3, which I would like to see as well. So this feels more like the best case bullish scenario here of a wider count, still putting $4,400 into play. Let's see here. Cloud settings 2060 120. Oops. 2060 120 30. Thanks, Welsh. Appreciate it there. BCH still in ludicrous mode. Yeah, we'll definitely check out BCH. Chonis, did December rally volume look like the proper capitulation volume to you compared to 2015? December daily volume. Does December daily volume look like proper capitulation volume to you? I think what you're asking me is the volume comparisons between 2015. So let me bring up my Bitstamp. Nope, Coinbase, Bitfinex, no. Stamp. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about volume, and I want to go. I'll go to the 3-day. Hide my artwork here. And I want to get right. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about volume. Oh, here's all my cloud stuff. Let's talk about volume. Talk about volume. So we want to see similar volume profiles based on times of either capitulation or bull market top off. Okay. And when we see that, we want to see similar patterns that show that we have reached the same pattern, but we have to factor in the different price points, and the volume profiles will be slightly different. Okay. Sculpture Smith, if your video is blurry, it's probably on your end. Everything looks pretty clear over here. So we're looking at our volume profile. I'm on Stamp here, and this is our 2014, okay, bull market here. This is our 2014-15 capitulation candle here. And this is our 2015 end of bull market candle here, okay? Sorry, end of bear market candle here. So end of bull market, bottom, end of bear market. And we remember that the end of bull market and the bottom were more or less a year, 10 months apart, right? 10 months apart. Now, we're not going to see candles this high, okay, ever again. We're just not, because the liquidity in Bitcoin was more. You could, for $180 a Bitcoin, you could move a lot more. Bitcoin was $10,000 or so. And because of that, I'm looking for similar comparable candles based on this move and not this move. So what do I mean by that? So when we had our bull market top off here, okay, we see how high our candles got, okay? When we had, this was our initial bottom buyout here, candle, very high, corresponding with the liquidity at the time. The liquidity at the time, because we're still in, December, January, February earlier this year. Okay, now we're looking at this high volume cluster of capitulation candles here. Now, I would like to see these closer to up here, one big moonshot, okay? Because that would correspond to either the bottoming candle, right? Which was similar profile to our nut top candle here. And we'll be looking for something like this, which was our bull buy candle top off completion, getting us out of our bear market. So the question I'm asking, is it this candle cluster, or are these candles enough to equal this range that has determined, that's shown us in the past at least, that we've hit our bottom? And I don't know yet. I still want to see a candle on a 3-day or on a weekly that gets up here, And we got close, right? We got close. And if I look at it on a weekly and look at our candle here a couple weeks ago, we got close. We definitely got up in that area, sort of. But I just want to see one big one, just that one big one, that final flush. That would give me more of a confident sense that maybe the bottom has been reached. And that would be something that we want to focus on going forward. Because until I see that volume bar, I'm not going to be convinced the bottom is in. And because of that, and because of these untested areas, still in the 2000s, potentially even the high 1000s, especially this area here, I am not going to feel that the bottom in Bitcoin has commenced, even though, right? Even though, let's just do a straight fib, right? Oops, that's not what I want to do. Even though from our bottom, 150, oh, come on, to our top, has put a retrace of that 84% area, which coincides, right, with previous Bitcoin retracements. Okay. 78 had in the past, didn't hold, actually found resistance there. 84 in the past has been an area where we have found that bottoming in Bitcoin. But guess what? 93% pullback has also been an area where Bitcoin has actually pulled back from a parabolic move, which could definitely still put in play a chance of a $1,500 Bitcoin. And that would also pretty much clear out the last areas of our uncorrected bullish moves there. And if we got down something like here, I would be significantly more convinced that we have reset our chart enough to move higher. But it's notable that for now, 84 is holding, and that had been an area of historic support after Bitcoin previous parabolic moves. All right. Before I get into alts, I want to do a quick longs and shorts because this is very interesting. Last night, I did a tweet about that. Where is it? There it is. Nope, that's not it. Oh, because I have to There we go. There we go. Didn't reset the page. There it is. So we saw I did this last night. Shorts were rising with a vengeance. Longs were capitulating with a vengeance. Okay. So what happened with the shorts after we just popped another $300 in Bitcoin, right? Well, since you asked, Bitcoin long. Let's do shorts first. And daily. Okay, so Bitcoin longs, still going down. Bitcoin shorts, God, look at that. So they're rising, they're rising, they're rising. Okay, they fell, and then they've got bought back up again. So some people got wrecked, and some people got closed out of those shorts, but not everybody, and not all those short positions were closed. Actually, we can see some loading daily. There we go. There we go. So here was the 4 hour I posted. Yeah, there it was. Right? Top off, pull back, liquidate, liquidate. But no, we're buying back into that. We are buying back into this. And my overall thesis in the area of shorts being in this area is that we're still very close to our all-time high areas. Okay. Remember, we all-time high rejection, new all-time high, tweezer. But I said as long as we can find support in this area here, which we have, we can still range higher and keep going higher, increasing our short leverage. If Bitcoin just broke 4,000 and we're about to break out of our downtrend, then why are our longs significantly capitulating? After hitting an 8, they didn't even make it to a 9 on the daily there. So what does this tell us? This tells us the shorts are still not convinced that there's not money to be made shorting the market. And the longs look pretty convinced that there's not much more running room, at least in this time, or at least they're not willing to make the bet on it. So let's do a couple comparison charts here with the alts. Let's bring up Okay, so let's face it here. BCH and SV. Oops. Oh, darn it. Actually, yeah, I guess I'll use Poloniex. So BCH, SV, daily, Bollinger. So, wow. Wow. What a move. What a move. Boom, 129%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day move here. Okay. But look where we're hitting up against. Our last area before the crash, right? The last area of support was holding here before the crash. Now, SV still looks pretty good. We had our run, consolidation, we had our pullback, but we're still holding something that looks a little bit like an ascending triangle. We can keep bouncing and hitting this resistance around 118 and bust through. We've always seen BCH when Bitcoin pumps, the market pumps, we've always seen Bitcoin pump higher. We've always seen Bitcoin pump higher. Sorry, Bitcoin Cash pump that extra leg higher. Okay. It's very consistent. But we've also seen that once that leg ends, and I'll be bringing up this one here from historic reference. Okay. Remember our April pump? Boom. And you gave it all back. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash has a tendency of ripping like this. Okay, look how similar this rip looks like to this rip here. And remember, both of these things are just being manipulated by the VERS and the whoever's are controlling this stuff here. It was a good setup because of how bearish, incredibly oversold it was. RSI and the tanker ripped higher. But now where does it go from here because of this run? Let's do a couple more here. Let's look at Ethereum on Coinbase, and let's look at Litecoin, Coinbase. So Litecoin told us what was going to happen. Remember, Litecoin popped a day before everything popped. Right? This day here that Litecoin popped was the day before everything else popped. And then Litecoin led the way bearishly down. Remember, we had a 9 with a 1 to 4 candle correction. Beautiful. We're on a green 6. I also want to mention my weekly chart here because our weekly had a perfected 9. And this candle show with a very tight candle body. The support was very strong at 25, and the buying opportunity was below that on a very nice tweezer bottom. But where's our major resistance on Litecoin? $33. $33. I guess 36, but I'm feeling we closed, and then this day here, our 9 candle, we could not get any higher than that. So 33.50 remains Litecoin's nemesis. We can't break that, and the downtrend continues. And that would also correspond with this declining angle here. Now, Ethereum, the same exact thing, right? We have Ethereum looking at here, and we have the break of the triangle of resistance, triangle of death. And we have our, let's see here. There we go. So Ethereum broke so much bearish than everything else did. That's why the running room is so great here. So another similar scenario, which I had mapped out with Bitcoin, would be, again, the HNS, the last push higher, hit the historic resistance, 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 and then that's where the battle happens. The very stiff rejection down, or the break, backtest support, and continuation. Really similar pattern here. And again, that neckline would be about 116 to 120. 115, 115. So again, a little bit more room potentially. And the fact that Ethereum had a worse candle than Bitcoin did on the daily, and this was a worse candle, and then both through that, very impressive, very impressive. So there's bullish activity for sure in Bitcoin, but remember, it doesn't take a lot of whales to push this thing around. Let's see here. Common current price action was for things. Sorry. Let's see here. LTC and 20-minute chart. Scalp around 30. So what else do I want to look at? Let's see here. Oh, how's the overall stock market doing today? I guess all I have to look at is Apple. Oof. Just the daily, yeah. DJI. Down again, down 100. Making up a little space there. So, it's funny, our overall stock market, we've been watching, and the correlation between, is stock market falling apart, Bitcoin, is that helpful or hurtful for Bitcoin? Remember, I feel from an asset class, the whole asset class division right now, people are looking for flights of safety. And we had our channel here and we broke it. We broke it. Tried to get back into it, couldn't hold. Still a chance for that back test there. And then a push lower again. Yikes. Especially these candles here. A lot of people took a lot of money out of this market here. Especially these last few candles here. And let me look at our money flow, that. Well, look at our daily RSI on the Dow. Has been as low as 26. Has been as low as 15. Right at 30. Looking for support here, actually. I'm looking for support right at 30. Similar to what we did here, but back in October. Right there. Find support there, right? And then find a little bit of a Christmas rally. Back up to here. So let's go back to Bitcoin and let's finish up with that. Guys, once again, thank you for joining me. Remember, you give me some thumbs up, some likes, tell your friends, give a follow, give a shout out. Let's go to our hourly chart, hide our artwork, see what's going on here. Oh, that's the last thing I want to do. I want to bring up my EMAs, 26. And my 12, of course, is gone because TradingView does that. Okay, there we go. So let's look at our hourly. Now, actually, no, I don't want to look at my hourly. I look at my 4 hourly. There we go. Okay. So look how tight our support is on our EMA 12 here, our yellow line. Okay. Support. Hour left in our candle here. Still looking tweezer-ish. We're still looking tweezer-ish. Okay. 44.10, still major resistance. We come back. Okay. We're looking for a 12 again to find support. 37.70 and rising still. Okay, that's our area. Our back test fail-safe support will be our 26 at 36. And let's face it, folks. We want to hold right here. We want to hold above this candle, 36.42. If we can hold 36.42, we can continue to build on this momentum, even with a pullback of almost $400 or 10% of our current price action, right? We can still continue higher to that last push of potentially $4,400 as long as we hold above 36. And this could range for a while here. We're in no rush. The bulls have clearly defended 3K for now. Okay, we moved almost $1,000 in just a matter of days. This is a big move here. Okay, I'm sure profits were taken. Okay, but we're not out of the woods yet. Still in a lower low pattern, and until 4,400 in the near term can be tested, rejected, tested, breached, back tested, and held as support. We're still in a bearish market. We're still in a bearish downtrend, and all this is a short-term correction from our recent major bearish move. Keep an eye on these 4-hour wicks. Keep an eye on our volume. Keep an eye on our indicators. For our RSI, a little toppy, right? You don't want to buy into oversold conditions. You don't want to buy into overbought conditions. You want to play a better and a smarter risk versus reward scenario. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you guys later on in the day, perhaps with some updates on Twitter. And guys, just be safe out there. We're in an area where the big players, the exchanges, I feel they still have control over all the market. And when you feel something's about to go one direction, Bitcoin has a tendency to kind of fake you out and go in a completely opposite direction. So just be smart in your trading activities. Remember to give me a like, thumbs up. Consider becoming a member of Bitcoin Live. Until then, Big Chonis signing out. Peace.